Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be recreating my bridal makeup look. I'm going to try to recreate it. I don't remember exactly how I did my eyeshadow. It was a big process, so I'm going to try to recreate it. We'll see how it goes. It's been less than a year. That's kind of pathetic. But anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when my new videos pop up. I'm going to try to upload on Thursdays or Friday for sure, and then like maybe a bonus one throughout the week. Maybe. So you can look for my new videos there. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I will put my Instagram handle down below, and let's just jump right into the video. Alright, so first what I did, I started with my eyeshadow because I went like crazy and I cleaned it up with some foundation afterwards. So I am just going to use the Tarte Shapetape. I don't remember what concealer I used. I think it was like a Morphe concealer if I'm remembering right. But this is the shade 12N Fair Neutral. And I'm just going to prep my lids with this. Gonna just pop it. Just the tiniest little dot, because this stuff, when I say it's full coverage, like holy moly, super full coverage. So we're just going to blend it out with your finger. You can use a brush if you want. I always just use my finger because it's easier that way. You don't dirty a brush. You don't have to remember to grab a brush. And for some reason, my eyelids have been like super dry. So if you see anything like weird and crusty on my eyelids, it's just because they're being stupid. Okay. And then I used the Tartlette Toasted palette. And I use a lot of shades for this eyeshadow look. So for the first one, I'm using the shade S'more right there. And for the record, this does smell like s'mores. Like, it smells really good. I just took a really big fluffy brush. This is from Morphe. It's the biggest fluffy brush. Pretty darn big. And I just tap, tap, tap. Tap off the excess, and then I went crazy. This one, it doesn't really have that much of a pigment. It's just a really nice shade to lock everything in place. So what I did is I just packed it on until my brush stopped tugging on my eyelid, like I've said before. That way you know that you've got a good base down and your colors don't stick to one spot and get really patchy. So I just dip in there. And these shadows were awesome because of the Amazonian clay that's in them. It lasted all day. Like, this was the first thing I put on my face at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And it stayed until like midnight. So props to that. Okay, then using the same fluffy brush, I went in with the shade Cashmere, so it's a little bit of an orange, like really, really light orange. And I just focused that in the crease. And again, this one, you can really build the pigment, and so I didn't go too crazy. I just put it in my crease up to my brow a little bit, just to start adding the dimensions for the color. And then I just kind of went until it was my desired effect, so you guys can see the difference. There's this eye and this eye, just a little bit of a warm tone. And then I'm gonna take, my brushes are not clean, so I would recommend if you're doing this for your wedding day, clean your brushes because you're gonna get color payoff from other colors and you don't want that. So I'm using this slightly smaller brush from Morphe. It's just, again, a fluffy brush, just a little bit smaller than that first one. And I am taking the shade Latte, and I'm going to pack that just a little bit lower in my crease. I'm just gonna pack it on there. And I'm just gonna blend. So you can see the other one I took like up here. This one I'm focusing lower. Just creating that dimension again in my crease. And I will say that I did have some like burgundy on this brush, and so it is kind of coming off a little bit, but it's fine. I will also, when I was doing it for my wedding day, I like went all the way out here so I could really get a nice blend, and so I literally was just like, whew. I don't know why I blend down there, but I did, so that's what we're gonna do. It made for a really pretty blend, so it's fine. Okay, and then after I packed that color on, I actually used, I didn't have these Morphe brushes. I used this guy, and this is a furless brush. I got it in an Ipsy bag, and I just blended everything. It's really precise, and so you can get in there and blend. I actually really like this brush. I've just been using my Morphe brushes, but I still like this one. And then you can kind of see there's some little things that need to be blended out still. I don't know if you guys can see that. Obviously my eyes are closed, so, but like right here needs a little more blending. So that's where we go in with that shade Latte again. Just tap, tap, tap. And kind of just circular motions again. Just a soft blend. You don't want to push down too hard or it'll create some weird stuff going on. And then we take this one again. You can also take that first brush, the really fluffy one that we used first, and do that. That would work as well. And then this is the part that I'm trying to remember what I did. I think, because I went to Sephora and she used, I wanted like a red, like pink. She used like this orange and was like, there you go. And I was like, that's not what I was going for, but all right. So I'm gonna take this brush. I believe I used like a tiny little brush, and I'm gonna tap it in. I'm gonna get my other, I almost just dropped my precious products. Okay. I used the Jaclyn Hill palette as well because it has a really pretty color in here. Let's see. The name is on the back. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's, is it Jazz? Maybe? I don't know. Because it's like flip-flopped. So everything's backwards. But I used this shade right there. And it is so pretty. It was the perfect color, but I also really liked the effects of these two right here. Let's see, I'm like holding too many things. These two, Cozy and Fireside. And so what I did, again, if I'm remembering right, we'll see, I mean, if it comes out. I tapped into all three. So I think I started with Cozy, and then I tapped into this one, and then I wanted it a little bit deeper, so I tapped into Fireside, and then I tapped off the extra, and I just focused it right in my outer V. I was not trying to go anywhere crazy with it, so that's why I used this tiny little brush. So I could really get in there, and I packed this on, I want to say, pretty good. So I'm just going in there, and you guys don't have to add this. This was just to add some depth to my outer corner, and I kind of made like a V with it. You guys see how I did that? And like take it into the first part of this crease on the outer V. I did that. That's what the lady at Sephora did, and I was like, I'm gonna try that. But just really packing it on there. Yeah, that I did that. Okay, and then I took this brush. I'm remembering now. and I, excuse me, tapped it into the shade. I'm actually going to find out the shade name because I am really curious. Is it Hillster? No. No, it's not. It's Jazz. It's the shade Jazz from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Packed it on here, tapped it off, and then really focused it so I could have some more of that like burgundy-ish shade. And then I went back in, I'm gonna use this one, and I blended it all together, blended it out on the edge. This had no extra product on it. We don't want that. Just blended this, and we will clean that up. I'll show you guys how I did that. And then this is the part that really like made the look. I used the Stila liquid eyeshadow in the shade Kitten Karma. It might be pretty dried up, so I don't know if we'll see. But I just took it. I mean, you guys, oh, it's so pretty. Can I like focus? There we go. So pretty. Okay, and I just took it. Yeah, it's drying up. Don't dry up on me. And went all the way yeah, it's gonna dry on me. I'm gonna use a few layers to kind of build up the more pink shade of it. And I took it out to this color. You guys can see kind of where I've taken it out to. And then the key to this is to not touch anything until this dries, because this will not be your friend if you try to touch anything up without it drying. So I'm gonna try to get it built up to where I had it on my wedding day. It's not quite there yet because it's really dry. It was brand new when I used it. But this stuff is the bomb. Okay, we're gonna let it dry. And then as this one dries, I'll do my other side and then we'll come talk about the next step. Okay, so now that I have the other eye done, what I did when this dried down, I went in with that same burgundy shade with this brush again, and I just dipped it in just a little bit, and I just kind of blended where the two shades met to add a little more. I really wanted this like really pretty burgundy shade to come through, and then I just used a fluffy brush and I blended because some of the glitter like got up here, and you just blend that. And then you are ready for eyeliner. So the eyeliner that I used was actually the Tarte Double Take liner, the gel side. It was really nice. I don't have it anymore, but it stayed on all day. It was super nice. So I'm just going to be using the Milani Stay Put Matte liquid liner that I use every time. And I just did a really, really, really thin line. I didn't do a wing. I didn't do a wing on my wedding day, and not gonna lie, felt a little bit naked. But we start at the inner corner and just draw straight across. And then I just stopped right at the outer corner. I didn't do anything, like just a blunt edge. And the stuff doesn't cover the glitter as well. The other stuff covered it so well, like nothing showed. Okay, so that's what I did for eyeliner. You guys can see the difference. And then I moved on to my base makeup after I dust, because it does have a little bit of fallout. As you guys can see, there's like glitter on my face. It's more today because it's dried up pretty good. But just dust that away. I'll do the liner on the other eye and then we'll jump on to the next step. Okay, now that I've got the other eye, I'm gonna move on to my base makeup. And what I used the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This stuff was awesome. My makeup just stayed put. So I use a little pea-sized amount. It's just one pump. And I get it on my fingers and I rub it everywhere. Up in the T-zone. I will say you do not want to be rubbing this stuff in for very long. Like, you want to put it on and you want to be done because it is sticky and you have to let it dry down for a minute. Otherwise, if you try to start doing stuff, it'll start pulling stuff, so you let this dry. It is pretty expensive, like it's on the higher end side for sure, but it was so worth it to make sure that my makeup stayed in place all day. And I mean, this was $15 for the little guy, and I still have it. Like, I use it for special occasions, like if it's super hot and I need my makeup to stay on. I really like it. For foundation, I've actually been using a self-tanner, and I am darker than I was on my wedding day, so I'm going to have to mix some shades, but the one that I used was the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear, and this one is the shade 450. It's really gross and dirty. And then I'm gonna mix it just a little bit. I didn't do this on my wedding day, but I'm going to try to match my shade. Is the Becca Aqualuminous Perfecting Foundation, and this is actually in the shade Tan. So I'm just gonna take a little drop of that and mix it in. We'll do that, and I just used one pump of foundation. Like, it did not take very much at all. And then I'll just use a tiny little drop. That's all I'm gonna do, just one tiny little boop. Like, not even a whole drop, because it's pretty close, but not quite there. So we're gonna do that, and then mix it with my finger. And then I'm just gonna plop it on my face. And I actually think I pumped out a little too much, so that's all right. Just dot it everywhere. Just got it in my eyebrow. That's cool. And then I've got a little extra, so I'll use that to blend down my neck. I used my trusty Morphe sponge. Use the flat edge to blend it all together, and then I just go and clean up that outer edge, and then it's a seamless little shadow look. Looks like I did it the first time around. Cheater. And then same thing on this side. Clean it up. And if your foundation doesn't get it the first time around, your concealer will, so it's totally fine. Just blend it to blend. And you want to make sure, because it's your wedding day, if you're doing this look for your wedding day, you want to make sure that you blend it really well, because you don't want to have like one patch that you didn't blend and then it's in pictures for the rest of your life. That'd be terrible. Okay, so now that that's on there, I'm going to take whatever's on the back of my hand and blend it down my neck. Oh, and by the way, the self-tanner that I'm using is the Soul by Jergens. That stuff, I have used it like 3 or 4 times, and I've become the darkest I think I've ever been. So, get it. It's wonderful. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm going to use my concealer, and I'm going to use, again, the Tarte Shape Tape, And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna draw a little bit there, a little here, and then highlight the high points of your face just a little bit, cover any blemishes you might have. So we're gonna brighten, do a little more contouring because it's your wedding day. Hey, you need to look snatched. Okay, and again, just blending out that shadow line, getting it in there really well. I'm gonna make some weird faces. And this concealer is a little light for this foundation shade that I am right now, but when you add powder, it kind of calms it down, so it actually is not that bad. So we're gonna press it in there. And then do the other side, and again. So the foundation didn't get this one as good, but then my concealer just cleaned it up. So if your foundation isn't full coverage, or you really like a sheer foundation but you want to clean up that eyeshadow edge, your concealer will totally get it for you, and you'll be good to go. You'll look like you're a pro. Okay, and then blend it down the nose. Get a little nice nose contour going. Just in the forehead, brighten that area a little bit. Hope it started to dry. Don't do that to me. And on the chin. So yeah, you guys can see that the concealer is like way brighter than my shade is right now, but that's fine. We'll fix it. So now I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder. This is the same stuff I used on my wedding day. This stuff is fantastic. And before I set my face, what I like to do to make sure that I don't set any creases in place is just go through and tap out the under eye again, and then look up so that you don't create any creases and like make this really weird face. And then you tap it in your sponge and then tap it into your under eye all the way out. Same thing on the other side. Really tap it in there so you lock in. Not gonna crease throughout the day. And then just using a fluffy brush, we're going to go in and set the rest of our face. Oh my gosh, there's glitter all over my face. It's like flaking off every time I blink. Anywho, try to brush that off. Just set everything. Again, if you're oily in certain places, now is the time to take this, put it on your damp beauty sponge, and just really pack it on there. Set everything in place. Okay, so now that we have, I just got like really short. Okay. Our base done, I'm gonna do the under eye really quickly, and all I did for that was I took the Tartlette palette, and let's see, I need a new brush. Here's a flat brush. I used a flat brush, and I went in with the color Latte first, and I just went in lightly and went across the whole lash line, and then I went in with Jazz, and I took it super, super close. You want to get it as close to your lash line as possible because it's a darker shade and you don't want to make your eye look all weird. And I just took it about halfway in, and that was it. So there's the lower lash line. That's all I did. And then now that we have our base on, I just took the fluffy brush and I kind of blended out this edge just a little bit to make it a little softer. So like it's still an edge, but not super harsh. Just blending it all again, all the time. Blending, blending, blending. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna slap on some mascara. I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, but I use lashes, and so I actually just bought a really cheap waterproof mascara because I didn't have one at the time and I knew there would be tears. So I'm just gonna slap that on really quick. And then we will let that dry. So you don't want to throw on lashes with wet mascara. That's just a train wreck waiting to happen. My goodness, there's glitter just literally falling off every time I talk. But that's okay. Okay, now we're gonna move on to a little bit of a contour. And so what I did is I used the Benefit Real Cheeky Party palette, and I have the Hoola bronzer in here, so I used the Hoola bronzer, and I used this fluffy brush. Did I? Ooh, maybe I used a different brush. I'm gonna use this one because nope, I've changed my makeup routine and the brushes I use. That's really confusing. Okay, so I used this dense brush from Crown. I got it in an Ipsy bag, and I tapped it in there, tapped the excess, and I tapped it into my jawline, and then I did it in circles, I believe, and then I think I blended it out with that guy. So that's what we're gonna do. I don't actually know if that's what I decided to do on my wedding day, but it's what we're doing now, because I think that's what I was doing at the time, but who knows? It's so dark. Ooh, gotta do some blending. Again, just taking it on the jawline. Gonna have a snatched jaw. Just really bronze up the skin. Then we're gonna take this fluffy brush that I have been using for bronzer and clean it up. And then I'll show you guys a trick. So if you have bronzer, like it's kind of gotten down here and it's not as sharp of a line, you take your translucent powder, you get a little straight edge just like this guy, you dip it in the powder, and then you just draw a straight line and you let it sit for just a little bit, and then you wipe it off, and I'll show you the magic. And then for blush, I used the same palette, and I used, what shade is that? It doesn't say. Huh. It was on there, but it has rubbed off. I believe it's Rocketeur. I think. I'm gonna say that it is. And I'm just gonna use this angled brush, tap it in there, put it on the apples of my cheeks. Again, all that glitter's really showing up everywhere. And just get your desired amount of blush. You can really build this stuff up. It's a nice, beautiful, subtle blush, or you can really make it pop. Okay, so I've let that bake for a little bit. I'm just gonna take the brush, dust it away, and then you've got a better clean line. So that's what you can do if your bronzer's like, pew, and you're like, whoa, need to tone that down a little bit. Okay, Then for highlight, I used the Wet n Wild highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. Oh my goodness. There. Lighting from my makeup light. Whew. And I just took it right there, on the other side, on my nose, and Cupid's bow. Okay, and then I did my eyebrows. I don't remember what actually I did for my eyebrows. I think I might have just used the eyeshadow trick that I used, but I also could have used a pomade. But I'm going to do that off camera because it's the same thing I always do, and then I'll come back and we will finish up the look. Okay, so our brows are on, and then the next thing I did was lashes. For my wedding day, I used some Tarte lashes. I don't have them anymore, and I probably wouldn't have used them if I was going to change anything about my makeup look. It would be the lashes I used. I probably would have grabbed my trusty Ardell Wispies and used those because they're just the best. So I'm gonna, you guys can't really see it. Use those, guys. I'm not gonna hold it up because then all my lashes will fall out in a mess. And I used the Kiss lash glue. Again, I like the one with the brush. You can really get the precise amount of product on there. And I'm just gonna do that. And I had to redo one of my lashes 3 times. Like, it was not happening for me that day. And it was very frustrating, but it worked out. So I'm gonna let that get tacky for 30 seconds. I'm gonna use my mirror, look down. I'll probably do my lashes off camera because I have already done my little tips and tricks with them. If you want to see that, go to, I believe it's my Bronze Glam eye look. I can link it down below. It's got some more tips and tricks. But yeah, just hold your mirror down, look at it, and apply your lashes. So I will do this off camera and then I'll pop back on. Okay, so our lashes are on, and then our last step is lipstick. And real quick, I've got chapstick on so I don't make it look weird. But I'm going to use the Morphe liquid lipstick in the shade Virgin. Going to take it on here. I only use a little bit because I didn't want it to like look chunky on my lips or anything. And just a really nice neutral color, not too crazy, but still gives a nice little look. So this is the finished look. You guys can see I got a weird like thing right there, but whatever, it didn't blend out well. So yeah, that was the makeup I did for my wedding. If you guys want to create it, go for it. It was super fun. It's a really pretty look. I love this look. I would do it probably every day, but it takes a really long time. And then I'll take you guys over. You guys can see it in like the natural lighting. So like this is in the natural light. It looks just really pretty. It's like the best thing ever. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.